Dude, welcome back to Hanging Out with the Dudes. I'm your host, PC, and we have another great show for you today. Back at it with the dudes here, obviously. K-Stel obviously is going to figure it out. I don't know what he's doing over there. But we can talk to the main man from way out west, Mr. P4, sir. How we doing out there in the island out there in the west? Trying to figure out something clever to say, and it's just can't wrap my brain around it.
Yeah, well, imagine that. Yeah, we're hello, folks. We're doing great over here. Just started out the co-ed softball season. 7-21 win. Football score. 7 innings pitched. 4 strikeouts. 1 was a foul out. 7 earned runs, obviously. Well, 6 earned, but I had a throwing error, and then that ran scored. So, and as the pitcher, I almost feel like that is an earned run, but that's not necessarily how it reflects in the scorebook. But definitely some stuff to work on myself. Yeah, I had a rough second inning. Gave up 6 earned in the second, but we batted around in the first. 7-0 lead at the end of one. Then 7-6. We went 1-2-3 bottom of the second, and then we just got on a tear. So congratulations to the team. We're going to keep killing it. Brand new team. Let's go squad. And, what else is going on? I mean, the Mets are pretty good. Just took one from the Cubs again today. Happy Mother's Day! What the heck? Jeez, Louise. Oh my gosh. Then UFC was big this weekend. A Prius backed into me on a highway on ramp, so that was interesting. And then, yeah.
Normal stuff there, huh? For casual main man from way out west. K-Stel, how's the week go? How's the little update on life there out there in old OP?
Week was good. Went to Forest Frank on Wednesday. That was pretty electric. Remember, PC, were you there when we went and saw him?
Yeah, surfaces.
With Surfaces.
Yep,
I have come to realize now that he is no longer with Surfaces. He is done. He is now his own dude, Forrest Frank. He is soloing. It was a crazy concert. Really good pyrotechnicians. Really good, production. His songs are still fire. His songwriting's good. I got a little bracelet from him, so that's pretty exciting. Not from him exactly, but just at the concert.
You didn't know him personally.
Royals had a good couple weeks. Not the greatest 2-day weekend, but I can't really complain with a 16 out of 20, winning to game comparison. Been watching a couple of the playoffs. Not too big into it. I kind of like to wait till the conference championships come around, then I kind of start getting locked in a little bit. Start watching a bit more. Pretty exciting. Oh, by the way, new setup has been kind of completed. Still got a couple.
Very much pride.
We do. Yeah, the pride's still here. That's a pink. Right here is a Pink Floyd greatest hits album. If you don't know, right there, from how do I do this? From Tristan, my son, from the old fraternity. He made me that, and I never gave him a shirt, and I feel really bad. And I probably should give him a shirt, but he made that with laser 3D printing. It was crazy, and I appreciate it very much. Tristan, if you're out there listening, appreciate it a lot.
Papa misses you.
We got the old setup back here. Right here's the squirrel who's lit up. We don't have a name for him yet. There's a picture of me and Howard right here when we were at the old college stomping ground. So Howard's right there, and I'm in a Michael Myers outfit. I was the DJ for a year. Nick Howard was the former DJ. I took his spot. Didn't do a good enough job, though. We all know that. Got a couple of memorabilia. Me and my fiance right there. A Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's album. A couple of other stuff. And if my fiance's watching this, will get taken down as soon as possible. I only put it up for the pod because, it's a cult classic at this point. But I don't know if she wants this up all the time in the household yet. We're not moved in yet, so I kind of have a superior decision making when it comes to the place, especially this room. This is going to be my place. but she still doesn't want this up 24/7. So it'll only be up to, I guess, 24. I don't know what the hours. I was trying to do the math quick, but it's not going to work. Let's keep going. Sorry, that was
long-winded as always from K-Stel.
I thought my setup was pretty cool.
We've already got 10 minutes in this podcast, and 9 of them were K-Stel with his intro. But we're back, ready as action. I heard Howard may be joining us. I did hear he was hiking in the Himalayas so earlier this week, so he's kind of traveling back. So hopefully he gets back in time for the pod. We don't know. It's always hit or miss with him. But let's move quickly into what kind of our favorite stuff. Let's go quickly over some NFL. Still pretty much very early on. Rookie mini camps just started for all these teams. It's only been the first few days of that. I just wanted to see a quick update from the dudes, what they've seen around the league, their team specifically. The only thing I've really seen is Shador is playing very well against Dylan Gabriel, kind of winning that third kind of QB spot in there, even though we don't know about Watson. And what they're going to do over there in the Browns. I haven't seen too much. I saw that Josh Simmons has been pretty good for the Chiefs. I want to see what the dudes updated in professional opinions, since we are actual analysts, on the rookie camp and how they think their team's doing.
P4, you want to go first? I don't have much with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I like what Aaron Glenn's doing. I saw a tweet the other day, or some screenshots from some Instagram stories of Jet players. Kind of a little friendly competition on the battlefield by putting up the top speeds based on position groups throughout the locker room. So that's kind of cool that there's some friendly competition going on there. There were some jokes that how maybe some former Jet coaches would have played that same scenario. So I'm excited to see what they do. I mean, cautiously optimistic as always, but it is interesting. It is. We'll see what the Jets do. We'll see how the pieces fit together. I see the vision. I think if we're thinking Detroit Lions, but also you gotta do it for realsies.
Yeah, for sure. K-Stel, what you see about the Chiefs lately? Anything around the league?
I saw Jared Casey didn't make it past rookie camp, which is sad. Love Jared Casey, KU legend. Also, Zach Zabrowski did not make it past the rookie camp. UCM legend, D2 football legend. If you guys don't know Zach Zabrowski, go take a look at his numbers. I was going to start talking about the Titans, and I saw that Will Levis is just making Cam Ward look like a child, playing against grown men. And Will Levis is looking like he's going to get that starting spot out of, in the start of the season. Will Levis is just kind of mentoring Cam Ward at this point, telling him what not to do most of the time. Which is very important for Cam Ward, because if Cam Ward made any...
Does Will Levis himself know not what to do is a question?
You know what's crazy is I realize if Will Levis is telling Cam Ward what not to do, that'd probably be the equivalent of me telling Cam Ward not to do something on the NFL field, which is not throw the ball to the
Anywhere.
-2. Yeah, just throw the ball anywhere. Like if you're going down, probably don't try to scoopity do it. I think that's the time that you scoopity do it is when you have a name for yourself. You have a couple 4,000-yard seasons under your belt, playoff win. Get a little underneath.
Josh Allen did do it his first playoff game. He tried at least.
But you know what, Josh Allen, for as much as other than Patrick Mahomes, he's done a pretty good job out there. Even though his wife is currently, playing pretend in movies about vampires. She's playing pretend, is what I've heard. But he's doing a pretty good job of, being successful as a quarterback. He almost beat Phil Mickelson. And whatever that kid's name is, Grant Horvick, with John Rahm, they almost beat them in a YouTube golf competition. So that kind of goes on his resume, I guess. Hey, let's talk about probably the biggest story in NFL. I think we got a little bit of a retirement party we need to
Yeah,
throw.
I was gonna bring that up next. I was like Howard, but yeah, we can talk about Carr retiring for the Saints and that disaster of a quarterback room right now. I mean, I guess if you like Rattler, I mean Tyler. I don't know much about the Tyler kid. There, what was he, a second-round pick out of Louisville? Who knows? But that quarterback room is kind of a
I
mess.
cannot believe that to this day.
I think the Browns should try and trade one of their 5 quarterbacks that they think can play
Giants.
football.
Jameis Winston back on the Saints.
That won't happen. I
We
think
have
I think the
multiple
Giants won
teams
there.
with insanely stacked quarterback rooms right now.
I don't know who's going to be the
I
starting.
feel
Does
like
it not
the
tell you
NFL's
more about the offense or the system than simply the amount of people that can play quarterbacks? The fact that Seattle can have all these guys. And now Cleveland,
It
I don't
can
know
and
if
it
you want to
can't.
say that they're stacked, but like, because these New Orleans kids, now I'm not saying any of these guys are, I mean, even if we just go off of like archetype, like body type and combine skills, these guys aren't even world beaters. Like they don't even have like a guy who's like, oh, like the Raiders drafted
Like
2
you
kids
give like
that are
at
kind
least
of
a
gimmick
potential
quarterbacks.
that you could think that could be a starter.
Yeah,
in the
like, I
NFL.
don't know.
None of these
Apparently-
quarterbacks look like a starter in the NFL.
Yeah, apparently the Saints trust him though. So, and I don't saying that you should trust the Saints and who they trust, but
Yeah, I mean, Hayner looked terrible last year. I don't think
Yeah.
any Saints fan wants Hayner starting for sure. Show, who knows? I mean, we haven't seen him touch an NFL field, I guess. And then Rattler. He didn't look bad. I think Rattler is that bridge guy that, like, if you're going to try and collect yourselves from cap hell, I think going with Rattler for a season and trying to collect yourself financially is not a terrible idea, honestly. So it's a mess, but so is the Saints organization at the moment, honestly. So
I mean, the Saints organization. I'll tell you what. When watching all the pre-show stuff for the Super Bowl, made me the thing that I learned the most is how much of a poverty franchise the Saints were without if they didn't until the Drew Brees era. The Drew Brees era was the only glimpse of hope. Other than that, they've been a poverty franchise. And I'm not talking about like, oh, the Patriots wouldn't be the Patriots without Tom Brady. Patriots still have a Super Bowl under their belt.
yes,
Oh.
the Saints are like very, yeah.
They're awful. They're like a horrible franchise. And the reason that they aren't like in the group of dog crap franchises is because of Drew Brees. That's it.
Dennis Allen and that Saints defense was,
They were good. They were good
Yeah.
that one
but
period. of
like,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
like
Drew Brees
other
had noodle arms, so,
other
I mean,
than
they
that,
were- and they had a bit of like 2000s history, but overall, yes, they have been ran terribly. Like
If
a,
they didn't
I would
build
say
they had
that
Reggie
stadium,
Bush for a couple
if they
seasons.
didn't build that
No,
stadium,
the Saints have sucked, have been absolute garbage, except for that year that Drew Brees happened to be the quarterback. Now, Drew Brees had his own issues and whatever, but he won a Super Bowl.
Saints
fucking
defense
Phillips
That,
Rivers
08,
never
that was
did.
08, right?
Like, there's a whole bunch of
Oh,
guys who
nine.
never,
yeah.
Just right after.
who
her.
never won. Like, you got to give Drew some sort of flowers there. And I do get
Oh, for
underplaying
sure.
Brees.
I'm
and
just saying,
other-
like, we
other
can't be like
quarterbacks
a
are higher than him.
Breeze. Yeah.
But that is literally it. Like the rest of the
Yeah,
team, it fucking garbage. Like they got Reggie
Sure,
Bush
yeah,
on that
no.
cool rookie contract,
I mean, Kamara's good.
and then
but really
Arch Manning, like way, way, way back. But I mean, no, they don't even have. Like
They
Minnesota
definitely
had.
have to collect themselves as a franchise right now. I think internally, which starts with the owner and Mickey Loomis.
It's the whole
Yeah,
NFC
I
South.
think.
They're just
Yeah, that's just a
fucking-
whole lot.
it's
I
like
think the Falcons are. I'm not against what the Falcons are doing right now. I'm not sure if Raheem is the guy to go forward with them. Potentially not, from what we've seen his first year. But it's his first year, and they weren't terrible. So, I think their situation isn't bad. But
I think they just look good compared to the
the
rest
Bucks
of the
is
crap.
interesting. I think the Bucks had a good draft, so we'll see where they go.
Baker needs to prove himself.
Someone's gonna have to win that division. They're not gonna say no. So yeah, I like.
Put your
That's
money
what
on
they
the
say
Bucks,
about the
probably.
South, AFC South a lot of times. So,
Oh yeah, that one's not.
gosh.
Yeah, is there even a good owner in that one either?
Not
you're gonna
really,
stick up
but
for your Tennessee
Borgonzi.
person. Yeah.
Borgonzi is okay. Right now I'm buying into it, which I know
Then you
is
got
goofy.
McNair, Ursay, and Khan.
Without biased, I'm going to pick the
Warren Moon.
Tennessee Titans to be the most general man, like for the GM that I trust the most. And I say non-biased, but I am biased. And the reason I say non-biased is I don't want to just like suck my, the Tennessee Titans dick here. But the reason that I think they're going to be good is because their GM is a former, consultant of the best GM in all of football, which is the Brett Veach.
It's noticeable his impact for sure. I know these
That's
rookies that
I mean,
come
so
in,
kind of.
They got high energy. They're high character guys. I talked to Peyton or P4 about this, but Borgonzi is really like about guys that are gonna come in, want to be here. They're not just like on a contract getting paid, and you got guys 2 years later wanting to like think they're in prison when they were just under Mike Vrabel. But like honestly, like it's good to like actually have players that want to be Tennessee Titans. Like Tyler Lockett was a childhood Titans fan apparently, and he shook every like rookie's hand coming into the locker room and stuff and like congratulated them. So these guys like want to be here, and I think that is what is huge about Borgonzi. If I had to have a takeaway from
Takes
the
a
Titans
lot
so
to
far
want
in
to
this
be on the
offseason.
Tennessee Titans.
It does. It
It
does.
does.
Especially like where we've been, and that's
have
what
to
you
get
got to
about
do if you want to be.
29 no's from other teams.
It's like Chiefs players that have stuck around this long. Like you got to get your guys who want to be here for the long run.
It
This
also
is
helps
not
when
an
you win
overnight
Super Bowls.
process. We're not going to be the Commanders and just pop up better than the Commanders. No one does that. Commanders got super close, but they don't have.
And we'll
they
see what
didn't have
happens with the
everything they
Commanders because very rarely.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
sophomore slump, Jaden Daniels is probably on its way. Because I'll finally have
Yeah. Well, listen,
They usually-
listen,
you
listen.
usually
Wait.
see usually
Time-
see the sophomore
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did
yeah,
see
yeah.
C.J. Stroud
Sure.
have a sophomore slump, if we want to call it that. He still made the playoffs.
It was bad.
So,
It was bad.
But he made the
It was
playoffs,
bad.
and now the defense was good. But C.J.
Yeah.
Stroud also is a good quarterback under the offense you want to put him at. Jaden Daniels is just good because he's good. Like you can watch as much film as you want to on him. You got to blitz him. You got to play zone. You got to do this. You got to do this and that. You have to have two high safeties. You have
He's
to
definitely
have a
gonna
strong
have
safety.
good games.
He's just really good, and he's very smart. And there's not really a lot that you can do to him to make him feel uncomfortable, and that's what you want as a quarterback. And
Well, it's also nice that he has two legitimate wide receivers, especially with Scary Terry on one
now
side.
he needs two legitimate cornerbacks to help him out.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they've
Just
got
hope the
something
offensive
rolling there
line
over in
too.
Washington. They've been bad
But
for
yeah,
a while.
I mean,
and
that's
JD
more of the
seems
story,
like
though.
that definitely had an answer.
Yeah, Daniels looks super good. But moral of the story is it's not an overnight process. Borgonzi wants guys that are going to be around, take a couple playoff L's, even like a hard season this year potentially. But I think that for what I've seen so far of all the reports and Restrepo being front of the line for all the receiver reps, these guys are like the most mature guys I feel like we've drafted in forever. And our free agents want to be here. So like with that combo, I really already like firsthand just think there's a lot of good locker room stuff coming here. And this is Callahan's like make or break year too. So they got to build a roster that's going to want to be here. They can, like, if we get 6 wins, honestly, not a bad start to the process because we were dead last in the league. So I like where we're headed with a new GM. It's kind of chaotic right now, but if it works,
It works.
that's all they say, you
That's
know.
all
It's
that
like the
matters.
Colts. They had Jim Irsay, but he got a Super Bowl, so it works, it works.
Yeah, good little NFL update from the fellas there. Obviously, we'll get in more detail as training camp starts to pick up here in the summertime. As we get closer and closer to football, we'll give you our predictions for each division. championships, eventual Super Bowl predictions as soon as we get closer. But let's flip over to the actual sport that's going on currently. That is the NBA playoffs. Last week we kind of talked about how some of these lower seeded teams are really doing well in this second round. We had it at the Nuggets were up; they were tied 1-1. The Warriors and Timberwolves were tied 1-1, but then the Pacers were up 2-0, and then the Knicks were up 2-0 going into next week. Just a few games that have happened. Sorry, my headphones are beeping at me, meaning it's about to die. We had a few games. So obviously we had the Thunder and the Nuggets, and then that series has probably been one of the best series out of the entire league this year. Out of all the playoffs, it's tied 2-2 currently, going back to OKC. Denver ran away with Game 3 pretty convincingly, 113 to 104. Let's see here. Jamal Murray at 27 there. Joker ended up having 20 on 16 rebounds, just going nuts. And then on the OKC side, Jalen Williams actually had 32. Shea still at 18. Chet at 18, but just wasn't enough for OKC to get past the Nuggets. Actually, Aaron Gordon had a huge three there to force the overtime. Kind of Mr. Clutch for the Denver Nuggets has actually been Aaron Gordon with these threes. He's just expanded his game and continued to show how legitimate he is as a role player. He might be one of the best role players in the NBA right now. Like, not a superstar, but one of those guys that's going to go out and get a bucket for you. He has definitely proven that. They won Game 3, and then Game 4 happened today, and OKC's defense showed up and shut down the Nuggets. Shea ended up with 25. Joker had 27. But it was the shooting numbers that were pretty crazy for the Denver Nuggets. They were only 24% from 3 and 31% from the floor. That's just not going to cut it in the NBA. Only scoring 87 points is not going to cut it in the NBA. So, great series going. This one's probably going to go to 7, I would think. I think each team could definitely snag one more game. Unless Denver wins Game 5, I think they wrap it up at 6. But I think it goes 7. But that'll be a really interesting series to watch. Did any of the dudes get to catch any of these games a little bit, or not really, or?
Yeah, Gordon's been going off, and I think that the Thunder definitely, when they win these games, even when they keep it close, that defensive depth is just so ridiculous. I mean, I know you said like you think they're a year away, and they very well could be. This Nuggets series has really been pushing to the limit. But I think like this defense is one of the most insane things I have seen with like Case and Wallace, and just going back and forth. Caruso, like right in front of your face, and then down low you got Chet Holmgren, Hardensteins, and Bang. Like these guys are not like there's no letting up with any of the position players, and you just have to try your best basketball. And when the Nuggets are cold, they're really bad against a team like the Thunder. So like you said, this series is really back and forth because this Nuggets series on the other side, like the role players popping up, Aaron Gordon being the most clutch player in the last 5 years in the NBA. I feel like he's gone insane with these shots in the fourth quarter overtime. I don't know if he's had a shot in overtime, but he's just been crazy with these game winners and clutch tie games, and it's just ridiculous what these role players do for the Nuggets around Jokic, because Jokic does good, but
That's
there's
what
times
makes the
where he
Nuggets
just
so
slacks
good
off.
is these other players.
You had Jamal Murray in the past.
You have to try and shut down the other players around him.
Exactly.
Joker gets 35, it doesn't matter. You got to shut down. You got to shut down Jamal. You got to try and shut down Aaron Gordon, who's insanely hot. Christian Brown can really give you some good points. You got Michael Porter Jr., who's definitely hit or miss off that team. So that whole team
He's
is
playing
the
hurt
role
right now.
players. It's the whole role players of the Denver Nuggets that makes them such an incredible team.
No,
So.
they're pretty nuts. That's a fun series.
Ant is a dog. Jimmy buckets. I mean, yeah, yeah. Well, it's a grade 2. We'll talk about that here in just a second. It's like I think it's a grade 2 hamstring, so it could be about 3 weeks. But
Besides Lou Williams.
yeah, foul drawer. James Harden used to do that. Who really created that craft, and Shea has kind of copied that. Well, he could have not now, but back when he was on Houston. I don't know. Well, yeah.
His game is smooth as hell, though. Like that's the thing. Like we do have the memes, but like it is nice every once in a while. And he's a good two-way player too. Like I do see the case with him being MVP, but I do think Jokic, I mean, is definitely.
They're probably
one
going
of
to
those,
give
like,
it to
if you
Shea.
want to give it to him, you could. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Joker.
who
I mean,
knows? I think they did have something that he's like his player efficiency or something is huge, but yeah, he is good. Yeah, he plays the game physical. He's a guard. And he's just kind of got to get his own way when you're playing like that and driving down. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I think that's what makes his game good. Yeah.
It's in the buggy.
Yes.
We'll have to wait and see on this series. This is getting a little off course. But and we'll have to wait and see on the series. Probably going to go 6 or 7. Good series going. Let's talk about the other game that happened today. It is over in the East as we're seeing an upset in the making. We've got Indiana up 3-1 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tyrese Halliburton. Dude. Like, this guy is just unbelievable. And, like, the Indiana Pacers were a team coming into this offseason, or into this season, being severely underrated. They made a big run last year. Again, I thought it's kind of a fluke. Okay, it's not really a fluke. They're proving it's not a fluke, that Tyrese Halliburton is totally a number one guy. He is the guy leading the Pacers. He actually only had 11 today, but Pascal Siakam is also a center, or a power forward who's an NBA champion, already already done this before. You've got your veteran leadership in Miles Turner. You've got some good young guys in Andrew Nimhard and Aaron Neesmith. You have some bench help with Obi Toppin. And honestly, a little bit of Jarris Walker, the power forward that came out of Houston last year. Does get some good minutes for him. Obi actually had 20 points for the Pacers here in this dominant Game 4 victory for the Pacers. Cleveland has snatched one, but they're giving me total, like, Darius Garland, where are you? Like, you need to start playing a lot better if you want to get this series back from 3-1. But being down 3-1 as the number one seed in the second round, pretty crazy. Tyrese going off. The Pacers, look, they just need to win one out of the next three to move on. And, it's definitely doable, especially the way they're playing. So, good on them. I don't have too much on the Pacers. Have you guys watched any of the Pacers and Cleveland Cavaliers?
Yeah.
It's the NBA.
Well, that's playoff basketball.
It's the NBA.
Yeah.
It's so...
regular season has cool stuff, but playoff basketball, they kind of just try to... It's almost like hockey, where they're like,
It's
all
kind of
right,
like they kind of like to put a drama into it to make it more dramatic by getting those stupid little crap like that. Like the whole...
Oh, well, yeah, but at the same time, it was just like, the whole thing was like rushed. It was like, all right, what are we doing? It's the playoffs. Like, move along. That's what they were kind of trying to do, and that's why nothing was going on. It was goofy.
That's crazy.
But, yeah, the Pacers,
heard me.
the way they're playing basketball, and that's what I was going to say, like, I do think Halliburton's been a great player, but I think that, like, the team as a whole has just been crazy in how they fly down the court and how fast, like, they are around the rim, how fast they are back on defense. I think Miles Turner has stepped it up a huge part in these last couple of seasons for the team. And
It's definitely their
Neesmith
veteran
is a
leader
good
that you
role
always
player.
see in a championship
Yeah.
caliber team that's really impactful. It's like the Aaron Gordon
Mhm.
and the PJ Tucker from a few
Exactly.
years back.
He knows
you
what
need
exactly
that
he needs
huge
to do.
veteran.
100%. And yeah, they got Neesmith coming off the bench, who's a great warrior. He's like a KCP for the Nuggets, like when they won the championship. But yeah, I really do like how the Pacers are playing basketball really fast. And I know the Cavaliers haven't been doing too hot, but Donovan Mitchell's been trying to do what he could do. And like you said, Garland has been having a great series. But overall, I think Cavaliers have just already met like a Eastern Conference final match at the very least in the Pacers, and I think unless they have a LeBron James-esque comeback here, I think the Pacers close this one out.
I think it's going to
yeah,
be over in 5. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers.
it wouldn't shock
will
me. And the Pacers just really look hot right now. They keep the momentum going. I could definitely see them going over whoever comes out of New York and Boston.
Yeah, speaking of New York and Boston, let's quickly go look over at that right now. We had it already 2-0. We talked about how dominant the Knicks were. Boston wraps up Game 3 pretty convincingly. Coming into Game 4 tomorrow, what are some of the expectations from the dudes? How do you think this series is going to go? And then I'll give you my answer at the very end. 2-1. We're still in New York. Then we got to go to Boston, New York, and then maybe potentially Boston. Where are you guys seeing this series going and how many games?
I think the NBA world needs the Knicks to win. I think they just do. I think it just needs to happen, and I'm not saying that because like I'm like a Knicks like writer. I just like the Knicks have been nothing since Melo. They've been nothing. I mean, they've done a couple of things, but they haven't been like anything that I want to go, oh yeah, remember those? No, they haven't been anything. The Villanova guys playing well. It just kind of has a good, transition to, the new Pope, by the way. Shout out Villanova. Pope Bob from Chicago, Villanova guy. Maybe we get another Villanova, anniversary in the finals. Maybe we get, the Knicks and the T-Wolves. Get a little DiVincenzo and, Brunson.
That's definitely a possibility.
Could you imagine? I kind of want that. I kind of like that storyline going in there. Even though DiVincenzo isn't really like the guy that everyone thinks about on the Knicks.
It's Ant. Julius Randle, but he is. We'll
He's
get
not
to
bad
we'll
role
get to the
player,
T Wolves,
yeah.
but he is a huge role player, like we talked about.
No, like he's good. No. I'm not saying like he's not like a good player at all. Like he's a fantastic player, and he's definitely like showing out for his team. But like everyone's gonna look at the Wolves and go, yeah, like Ant. But yeah, I mean that would be the T Wolves' first NBA Finals appearance. So like we're already going like, whoa.
There's a lot of new that could happen for sure. Yeah, and the Knicks coming to go against Boston has been pretty interesting so far. I've been shocked at like how clamped Jaylen Brown's been getting low key, but yeah, the Knicks. I mean, Jalen Brunson, he has just been like one of the most impressive small guards in NBA history with like the times at the moment. I'd say
He's really
such a
capitalized on
gamer.
all the momentum that he's gained, especially when he was in Dallas and then New York. He became the guy in New York. Now they've built around him in New York. His guys.
Yeah.
That's-
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, that's
too.
this year. This year could be their year, and I could even see maybe even next year getting another year of them being able to play together, especially them with Cat there as well. I mean, they've had 1 year with Cat, but I mean, he spreads the floor really well with them, and yeah, the Knicks are really
Cat's
interesting.
does good. Cat really. I mean, he has a little struggles, but other than
I think
that,
Cat just didn't fit
he's-
well in Minnesota because they both kind of play inside him and Gobert. Where Julius is much more of an
Yeah.
outside perimeter drive to the paint guy, and usually Gobert just sit in the middle. Versus Cat now out in New York, he's allowed to sit in the paint and then flex out to the 3-pointer if he needs it. But
And
he's
drive.
It's also a lot
Yes.
easier to act
Yeah.
fruity in New York than Minnesota.
good with that. We'll have to wait and see on the Knicks and the Boston Celtics. Let's talk about the last game here.
And Jordan Woods. That's true.
We were talking a little briefly about the Warriors and the Timberwolves. T-Wolves are up 2-1. The Warriors won game 2. Minnesota dominated game 1. Warriors came back for game 2. T-Wolves again kind of dominated in game 3. No real official word on when Steph comes back. He does have a grade 2 hamstring strain, I think, and that could be up to 2 weeks, so he could be done for the series. He could come back by game 5. We don't really know. It's based on him. I don't think the Warriors have a chance to beat the Timberwolves if they don't have Steph. I think Jimmy is good. I think the Warriors will be really, really good next year after they get more time to have Jimmy buckets there, maybe to build some more pieces around him and Steph to be able to create one last kind of go run with these guys again to see if they can win another championship. I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I don't know if Jimmy Buckets is comfortable enough in that system, or they've kind of found their guys that they could totally make a run with. I mean, you've got Steph, obviously. Draymond has been a centerpiece. Jimmy Buckets, and then they all really love Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is a total glue guy for that team. You could tell in all their interview
I love Buddy
conferences.
Hield.
Where they're calling Steph Batman, and Jimmy Buckets is Robin, and then Buddy Hield is the Butler, and they keep making fun of Buddy. So there's a great camaraderie there, and you can tell that continues to grow. I don't know if this year is the year that they pull off a stunner, but next year I'll be really looking for the Warriors. I'm going to take Minnesota here in 6 games. I think Steph comes back in game 5 as well, but there's just not going to be enough to beat the T-Wolves. But what do you guys think about the Warriors and the T-Wolves?
And the Wolves are going to win. It's very simple. Yeah, congratulations, Golden State, on trading for a guy, but I think Ant's the truth.
I agree. I think that Timberwolves do have a well-constructed team at the moment. It kind of didn't look like it at first, but I think they found themselves into the season. Anthony Edwards is taken over as a true bucket getter on the team as well. He kind of does whatever he needs to, not just primarily shooting threes like he started off. And yeah, I'd like this Timberwolves team a lot. And Warriors, they could do it. I do like the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. They got another season, like you said, but I think right now they're just too damaged, too disgruntled to really make a run at this point. Everyone's out of rhythm, if I had to say.
And the T-Wolves are so in rhythm after beating LA that they're going to be really tough to beat.
How many players right now have a nickname that's after a bug? We got Anthony Edwards. We got Donovan Mitchell's named after a spider. His name is Spider.
Yep.
Is there anyone else that has a bug nickname? I mean, let's take a nickname.
A Million Bugs, former UCM player. That's a crazy fact.
Okay, but there's another
But yeah, I don't know.
bug
There's a bunch
nickname
of
out there.
nicknames. There's
Spider,
like 5 million
Ant.
nicknames for baseball players too. So
Yeah, but no
you
one
really
cares
wanna sit
about
here.
baseball
Avoid
nicknames.
that
We only care about NBA nicknames. We're a bunch of Zoomers. We care about NBA nicknames. No one's gonna. Baseball nicknames don't matter like as much as NBA nicknames. Baseball nicknames mattered
that's
back
said
in
by
the day.
Kyle Stelting, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
back in the day it used
Let it
to
be
matter. Back in the day it used to matter. We don't call Bobby Witt Jr. Jr. We call
Back
him
in my
Bobby
day.
Witt Merrifield.
Booby Whitmare.
Booby Witt Merrifield. Sorry.
All right, let's look quickly towards Monday, our draft lottery, also known as the Cooper Flag show. Where is Mr. Cooper Flag going to go with the number 1 seed? Obviously, the lottery, how it works, each first team
And
that's
Dylan
out of
Harper.
the odds are for these teams. So, the Utah Jazz have a 14%, Washington Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets all have a 14% chance to land Cooper. The New Orleans Pelicans have a 12.5% chance. The Sixers have a 10.5%. Brooklyn Nets 9%. Toronto Raptors 7.5%. The Spurs 6%. Houston Rockets via the Suns, because my team doesn't have any draft picks till 2034. We don't need to talk about the Suns. That franchise is in the gutter for the next 10 years. Once they trade Booker, whatever. I don't care. I'm not mad. Portland Trailblazers 3.7%. Dallas 1.8%. Chicago 1.7%. Sacramento 0.8%. 0.7%. Again, so the Spurs technically have 2% chances to win the lottery, but they're not very great percentages. Looking forward to this on Monday to see. I'm looking at some of these. I think Cooper fits in very well with any of those top 5 teams. The only team I don't really want to see him go to is Charlotte, just because that franchise is a disaster. I think Cooper will still do really well in Charlotte, but I don't know if they're going to be able to build him to the caliber of player that he could be in Charlotte. I know he's going to be with LaMelo, which will be great, him and Brandon Miller, but I think these other options are much better. Utah, he'd be the number 1 guy with Larry Markin in there. So 2 big guys, obviously going to need to figure out the guard situation there. Could be really good. Same thing with Washington. He's going to be the guy. They have Jordan Poole, who, I know it's Jordan Poole and everybody kind of clowns him for what he's like, but when he was on the Warriors, he was really good. So maybe if he's not the number 1 guy there, he'll really excel again and be a great role player. Washington would be a great spot for him. And then the Duke combo, which I think main man for Way Out West would really enjoy, would be him going to the Pelicans and playing with Zion Williamson and all of them with the hurt, everyday hurt, doesn't matter what day of the week is hurt,
The
New Orleans
photos
Pelicans.
will be legendary.
P4 will probably buy
That's a bunch
a
of street
ticket to go
clothes.
watch a Pelicans game at some point if that ends up happening, just because, Zion and Cooper Flag, 2 of the best prospects that ever come out of Duke University, teaming up,
And
probably
then-
Zion gaining another 30 pounds because of the Cajun food and not being able to be on the court again. Who knows?
Fair.
Be very interesting.
Fair.
The last one, obviously, is the Sixers, who have the next chance at 10.5%. Be pretty cool to see him with Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid. That would be a playoff team, I think, already. It really could be a threat with coming into the next future years. You're the all-star future leader in Paul George. Joel Embiid, if he stays hurt, is stays healthy, is one of the best players in the NBA. If he stays healthy, he's one of the best players in the NBA. Just because of his size, he won an MVP. He's one of the best players. And then Tyrese Maxey, obviously a phenomenal guard for the Sixers. Him sliding into that position, he won't. I don't really know if the Sixers are the best spot, because I don't know how much ball time he's going to have in his hands to make shots. Like, I think he'll strive much better in Utah or Washington, because he's going to get the ball every single opportunity down the floor. But it would be fun to see them on a playoff team to be able to go and excel and maybe even push the Sixers from a dumpster fire of a season with all these great players to adding that piece to maybe becoming a really top seed in a not really competitive East. I mean, you have Boston, Cleveland, New York's good, and the Pacers improved, but everybody else underneath those 4 are really not that good. They have a lot more to do in the East to become relevant. P4, looking and hearing some of this, where as a Duke fan would you enjoy your boy Cooper Flag going to?
Oh man, I mean, yeah, like you're not wrong in your assessment that he's either going to be the main guy or he's going to go to a team that sucks. Let's look at this standing.
Do you think if Cooper Flag gets or if the Toronto Raptors get the first pick, do you think Cooper Flag's parents are going to advocate for the great leader to annex Canada so that Cooper Flag can get paid American dollars instead of the crappy Canadian dollars?
Rubles or whatever they use over there. That's a possibility. I think Philly staying in the Northeast would be interesting, but I don't really like the 76ers.
What if he gets traded to? What if he goes to Washington and his parents want him to go there really bad so that they can have those beach trips up to Virginia a lot easier?
No, honestly, that's what I'm thinking.
What did you just say? That was
From
not
Maine.
English.
In the country.
Yeah, but they go to the beach in Virginia for the summer trips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like if he goes to Washington
Stay
D.C.,
local,
yeah, he can go up to the summer trips.
A lot of those folks that stay in Cap Hill.
You know more about his personal life than I do.
He doesn't
Yeah,
meet that.
the North.
K-Stel
pretty
is on
wild,
his
Kyle.
for his
Kyle
own time
watches
looking
Blue-
up.
I've been
personal
watching
watches
this.
Flags.
Duke Blue Planet
I've been
vlogs.
watching this. I've been watching this show called "The Summer I Turned Pretty" with my fiance, and it's all about the East Coast summer beach trip, bro. I think Nick Howard knows a bit about it, bro. Dude, I'm kind of getting the vibe of how this East Coast world is, dude. It's so different.
That was one of the
dude.
last things I thought I'd hear
It's so
tonight, but I
different.
guess I get your point.
Dead ball, yeah, dude. Cooper Flag is such an
about
East
Curry
Coast
this
beach
game?
trip. East Coast
And
beach,
his
yeah.
family's connected to the nation's capital and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe
and,
get a-
with our current administration, I think Cooper Flag would fit in well up there. Probably sign some bills. The Pelicans would be kind of funny. I don't know.
It'd
I
be
don't feel
pretty
like-
funny to see the Spurs
he's in
at
New
6%
Orleans.
get the number one pick, and they put Wimby,
Oh, I
Cooper
mean that would
Flag,
be awesome.
and Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox all in the same.
Yeah, and then
And
is Chris
continue to
Paul still
load the
playing?
West.
Has he retired yet?
I don't think he's retired. I think
if
he
Chris
will
Paul's
be
on
this
it,
year.
Just the amount of sheer knowledge he could spare for that team.
Yeah.
And Pop, he's El Jefe now.
Yup.
LFA.
The
Oh, yeah.
Magic, they don't.
They don't have a lottery pick.
Damn, that would be
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. Put him with Apollo.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe for some random reason, we get a Orlando and Pelicans trade. Either Paulo ends up going to the Pelicans for some random
But-
reason. That I don't know how
And
that would ever
a
happen.
meteor hits my house tonight. K-Stel.
And what if a bomb
What if a
dropped on
bomb?
your head?
This is the Bobby Witt Jr. for Taylor Mays trade. I want Cooper Flag
No!
to go to
Kyle just
To go to the
disintegrated.
Magic.
I'm gone.
How do I like kick
so that he can
somebody
play
out?
with Paulo, and then Kyle goes, "Oh, maybe they could trade Paulo for Cooper Flag." Well, then I don't want him to
Whatever.
play for
Cooper
the
Flag
Magic.
show. We'll figure it out. Coming up on Monday. Monday is the official draft lottery. We'll go over NBA draft stuff here a little bit later. CBB Corner 3 is coming back here next week. Just briefly to go over some coaching carousel. Looking at some new rosters, some freshmen, and some top transfers. I know we're a long ways out from the season, but it's always good to keep up with those rosters, especially in college, as they switch up all the time due to NIL. But let's go move on to the other sport that's currently going on. K-Stel's going to take over MLB. I'm going to go get a water real quick, but K-Stel, talk us about some MLB.
Let's talk about it, fellas.
I swear, this guy
What
gets
do you
dumber and
swear?
dumber
Take your time,
every
PC.
day.
Take your time. Take your time.
Guys, we're gonna
Eh,
start. We're gonna start off with
We
the,
are unsupervised, gentlemen.
guys.
JJ Weatherall!
Let's
Don't
talk
you
about
dare
guys.
touch
I don't know about this. I think this may be the first time in pod history that our teams are over 500. All three of them are over 500. Can we believe it? Now, I will say one team being over 500 scares me a little bit, just because of what they were kind of, supposed to do. What's kind of going on. Nick Howard has left the
Hey,
chat.
I know. The Royals can't be good forever.
Let's calm it down here, guys. Come on. Let's talk about our listen. All right, we're gonna talk about the NL leaders. We're gonna go wild card here, guys. The Dodgers. They're the first team in there. And look at Sasha roaming out that back there with the diaper. Sasha. Look at her. The Dodgers are your number one team in the NL right now at 27-14. They're playing pretty well. Have you guys checked their team OPS? Check the Dodgers team OPS and tell me if they're a good baseball team.
Otani's playing great.
Yeah,
Otani's killing it
yeah,
right now, actually.
He's doing pretty.
That bat drop was sick.
Yeah, he's doing pretty
That
good.
was fucking
if you guys don't know, the Dodgers team OPS is over 900, which is just so stupid.
Dodgers is 805.
805?
Yankees is 829.
Okay, never. It must have gone. It must have dropped. I think
Mets 769. Number 3.
Pause. The Dodgers are trying to trade for Kyle Tucker. What's going on here? The Dodgers are trying to do it. They're trying to do it, is what they're doing. Speaking of
You're
a team
going
who's
on Bob Nightingale. Let's tranquilo with those rumors.
that's underdog sports right there, brother. New York Mets.
From Bob Nightingale.
New York Mets 26-16. The Mets are playing some ball. They're beating a good team out there in the Marqueeville. The
Couldn't
Chicago
win a
Cubs.
doubleheader game.
Chicago Cubs, though, are 23. Yeah, if you only had Salvador Perez for your doubleheader games, maybe you'd have a chance. Look up that stat if you want to get some crazy stat nerds out there. Chicago Cubs are your third best team in the NL Central, I think. No, they're not. San Diego Padres are. They're in the NL Central.
Cubs are the best in the NL Central.
Are they?
actually.
What's
At this moment?
How many games?
Cardinals are on the way.
How many games back are the Cardinals right now? I'm
2, dude. I think.
Only 2? Oh, yeah,
I thought
because
it
the
was-
Chicago Cubs have played 0 games because they're lame. I was going to say another word, but that was going to get us canceled. San Diego
P4's already got us canceled.
San Diego
We've been canceled,
Padres, if you guys don't know who they are, they're playing pretty good ball. They'll probably choke or something like that. Hopefully not. They need a World Series win. The Phillies are back on doing whatever they want to do. And also the San Francisco Giants. They're here as well. Don't know how that's happening. Their defense is still kind of garbage. So we'll see how that goes. The Cardinals are sneaking in. They're 22 and, what does it say, 19? Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Only these sunnies on. The Arizona Diamondbacks are just, I don't know what they're doing. They need to be better. Their pitching is garbage. It's
Corbin
kind of
Carroll's going crazy. The offense is going nuts. But yeah,
their
the
pitching, and
definitely
they
gotta
they
pick
did
it
a
up.
lot of stuff this year
Big
for their
time.
pitching. Have we heard anything about Corbin Burns this year? I haven't heard anything.
He's not been bad. I don't think struggling, but I guess not Cy Young worthy.
It's not
so
Cy
yeah.
Young worthy, and you kind of need Corbin Burns to be Cy Young worthy to be a good team. The Milwaukee Brewers are kind of Milwaukeeing their way around the club. The Cincinnati Reds are. Oh, dude, I could have had such a good joke with that. Did I get that joke right, or did I do it on accident?
You said it.
I did it on
That was
accident.
pretty bad.
Okay. You know what? That was crazy because I didn't even try to do that joke. Anyways, the Cincinnati Reds, their pitching is bad. Their offense is kind of there. The Braves are still in the hole they put themselves in at the beginning of the season. The Washington Nationals are bad. But they're going to be giant killers, I think. The Miami Marlins are still giant killers in a weird way. I don't know. They're going to have a ton of trade pieces. Like they always do. They're going to be the next Oakland Athletics. The Pittsburgh Pirates are so frustrating. Paul Skeens is going to get traded. The dog is coming to me because she's worried. The Colorado Rockies just fired Bud Black because they are awful. 7 wins. Colorado
How
Rockies.
long was he the coach there? That was
4
like
years.
forever. I mean, it's
4
about
years?
time, but yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy. At least 4
So
years.
it's whatever. It's whatever with the Colorado Rockies. They have no plan. They have no plan. Let's go to the AL, guys. Your Detroit Tigers are your AL leaders. They are 26-15. Wow. They're doing a lot of things well. They are on a two-game losing streak, though. If that means anything. The New York Yankees are 23-17. They're doing whatever they want to in that minor league ballpark. And the Seattle Mariners are the leader in the AL West at 22-17. Let's take a look at the wild card. Did anyone see the AL Central being good this year? Like, actually, like, really good? Not just like, oh, we're kind of sneaking in the AL wild card good. No, they're better than the 2 teams that are ahead in the other divisions. The Cleveland Guardians are 23-17. They're also on a 2-game losing streak. Interesting. They're 23-17, but playing goodish ball. They have a minus 17 run differential, so whatever that means to you. The Kansas City Royals are in that second spot. They're 24-18. They also have a 2-game losing streak. That's really weird. All 3 AL Central teams have like the same like winning and losing times. It's really weird. I think I talked to Nick Howard about that. They either win at the same time, they lose at the same time. It's been going on like that for about like the past like 60 regular season games we've had from the consecutive seasons. And then the Boston Red Sox are now in that last wild card spot. They're 22-20 because they played the Royals. And the Boston Red Sox always like to beat up the Royals in the regular season. Houston is 20-19. They're barely scraping across. Their offense is poop. Their pitching is good. The Athletics were in that third wild card spot, and then all of a sudden they play the Yankees, and the Yankees are going to beat them. The Twins are on an 8-game winning streak. 8-game winning streak. They are 21-20 as well. No one's talking about the Twins being good, but apparently no one cares. At the end of the day, the Toronto Blue Jays are a dead 500 at 20-20. They have a 4-game winning streak, so that's pretty good. The Texas Rangers...
Swept the M's.
They did. The Texas Rangers are still an awful offensive team. Their pitching is doing well. They have a 2-game winning streak. The Tampa Bay Rays are 18-22. That Simpson kid, man, that kid can fly. That Simpson kid can freaking fly.
Very fast, like Billy Hamilton fast.
The Angels are still the Angels. They have no pitching. The Baltimore Orioles are in the gutter. Ugh, don't even get me started with the Baltimore Orioles. And the Chicago White Sox, 12-29 is what that says. Guys, let's talk about let's just have a round of applause. All of our teams being above 500 for the first time in Dudes in Sports history. That's pretty good. The Mets are clearly the best team in this podcast rankings, if we want to call it that. They're built really well. They have a lot of good young guys playing well. They have a lot of good signees playing well. They're
Baby
pitching,
Mets. Baby Mets.
I'm
so excited.
Their pitching is good. It looks really good for the Mets. I think the Mets, in my opinion, are the World Series favorites. I know the Dodgers are good, but the Dodgers pitching scares me.
And the Mets doesn't.
They look good.
The Mets,
and we only got guys coming back.
the Mets pitching does have like the
is-
Mets pitching does have some like some
Those starters
stat.
can go 6.
The
and they
stats
can really go
the
6.
stats discrepancy is a bit off for the Mets, but the Mets are still a good baseball team at the end
They're
of the day.
good. I do agree with that.
The Cardinals, though, oh my goodness, they're just winning baseball games. There's still like stuff that you need to go, wait a second, Jordan Walker
Yeah,
is
a lot
just
of
not
holes.
good. There's so many holes on that team, and it's like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Victor Scott's doing
Victor
good.
Scott's fine.
Contreras
You
is
guys
coming
have
along.
a bullpen that's okay. Michaelis is still on your baseball team, and you guys are
And
like,
he's
dude, I want you listen for
Eric
just
Fetty had
just
a complete
just
game shutout.
just for me. I want you guys to sell at the deadline, just because I think it'll do you guys well. But like, I mean, Ryan hit. I mean, listen. If you're winning, you're winning. You're winning. You're
That's the
winning.
thing.
No
That's
one,
what's
no one
tough.
was, no one was
Like,
coming up to me and PC last year and going, "Listen, I know you guys are winning all these ball games, but you still got to sell at the deadline." Like no one was
if
telling
we're
me
fluky,
that.
that's why they make it in July. Because if we're fluky by June, then it's like, okay, that was a little spurt for the Cardinals. They had their little 8-game winning streak, but their pitching is still a huge problem that they need to get their young guys up, but they don't know how because the GM's in their last year. So the Cardinals are going to go and try and ride through. If it's just downhill in June, Liberatore's not doing good, Mats falls off a cliff, all that stuff, then I think it's a safe bet. You go and get guys like Contreras that are finding their way. Arenado's not doing bad. I'm sure he can find a team. And I think right now it's not bad. If we're just going on a hot streak June, then it's like, well, shit, I guess we got a playoff appearance with a few young guys. And then we just crash and burn. Then that sucks. But who knows? It is May, but it is very shocking that the Cardinals are actually doing this good with Miles Michaelis in their rotation.
P4, do you have any suggestions for your team? What are you thinking? What do you believe in?
I believe in the Mets. Yeah, I mean, the team's hot. The baby Mets are good. Acuna, and I would like to say this officially, Acuna is not one of the baby Mets. There was the 3 prospects that we drafted that we were bringing up, or not necessarily drafted because Francisco Alvarez was an international free agency signing from Venezuela. But we drafted Mark Vientos. We drafted Brett Beatty. Brett Beatty hit 3 home runs in 2 days. I couldn't believe it. We're 16-6 with Brett Beatty, 9-9 without him. But Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos, and Brett Beatty all went through the minor league system together. Every other year for the last 5 years, it was like trade fodder. Like which one of these guys is going to be? Now we kind of assume that Alvarez, because he played a premier position like catcher, and he has such a. What do we say about Alvarez? Like his bat gets hot. Like he hits for power.
He's
as
a better.
catcher,
He is a. He's Freddie Fermin, but with better home run potential.
He's very streaky. He's very streaky.
But
That's
he was
literally
like
what
a
he
catcher.
is.
Like, I don't think he's a better baseball player than Brett Beatty or Acuna, but the fact that he plays catcher, like 1.5, maybe even like 2x multiplies him, right?
In terms of importance, sure.
Yeah, like you need to have a catcher in your fucking lineup. Brett Beatty, he's going to end up playing corner outfield eventually or whatever, right? And Ronnie Mauricio is coming up too, and he would be closer to the 4th baby Matt. Luis Angel Acuna, who I love. I think he should be our everyday second baseman. He's fast. He creates chaos on the base pass. He can make those plays at second base. Very rangy. Does make some boneheaded mistakes. He is a young kid, but I like his bat in the lineup and his presence on the field more than Jeff McNeil at this point in their careers. We also have these old veterans. You got like the Sterling Martes, the Tyrone Taylors, who's the other catcher? Luis Torrens, who's playing lights out. And then you have like these superstar guys, who's Francisco Lindor, the best shortstop in baseball. Pete Alonso, who's one of only 3 players right now in baseball with an OPS over 1,000. Who's playing for his career, as Nick Howard likes to point out, but he's doing a pretty damn good job as of right now at it. And then Juan Soto, who just signed the richest contract in baseball history, who's one of the most accomplished at his age ever in baseball history. So we have, like, if you were to do the Mets at the end of the year, and I don't want to jinx myself, but like World Series celebration, like the story has kind of been, right, we have the pieces in place. Like, this is the team. You got Griffin Canning playing out of his mind. You got Clay Holmes, a Yankee guy who was a bullpen guy who's now a starter and playing lights out. Kodai Senga playing lights out. You got Manaya and Frankie Montas, who were 2 buddies from Milwaukee when they were good a couple years ago, who haven't played yet, who they're going to come back. David Peterson looks okay. Tyler McGill's had some streaky moments. It's exciting to watch. This I'm a little more in than the whole Jet ordeal. I'm not gonna jump on the Justin Fields train as hard as I'm jumping on the Met train, but this it does look pretty good right now. I'd say trust in David Stearns. There's no advice I could give this team.
Yeah, I mean, it really does help when the Mets have the George Brett of this era of baseball on their team and Juan Soto. And the only reason I say that is because Juan Soto has way more ball walks than he does strikeouts, and that was George Brett's thing. George Brett, I think, had 4 seasons out of his 20 that he didn't have a walk to K ratio that was in the K percentage more than the walk percentage. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing to have a guy like George Brett on your baseball team for the Mets, especially with the team around him. Guys, I want to ask you a question. The Royals have played 21 games since they not DFA'd, but since they've optioned MJ Melendez down to the minor leagues. Out of those 21 games, how many of those games have the Royals won?
More than they lost.
That's a good answer. It's the right answer, but looking for a bit more specific. PC?
Ask the question.
Out of how many?
21 games the Royals have played since they've optioned MJ Melendez. How many games have they won out of 21 since they've optioned MJ Melendez?
I know they were 15 to 17. I'm gonna say 18.
They won 16. That would be pretty monumental if the Royals won 18 games out of 21. That would be crazy. They're not the Detroit Tigers though, so sadly. Yeah, so that's what's kind of going on. We DFA'd, or not DFA'd. That's gonna be Hunter Renfroe here soon. MJ Melendez got optioned. Drew Waters showed up, and we were like, "Oh boy, here we go, Drew Waters." Yeah, he's been the third best hitter on the Royals since that has happened. Bobby Witt's, of course, the first. And then a guy that I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy before. He's kind of the best player I've ever seen in my life. In a season is Michael Garcia. He's playing pretty fantastic. It looks pretty good right now. The Royals, the baby Royals, if you want to call them that, are all playing pretty well. I think we have... How many guys are on our team right now, like in the position players that aren't like drafted Royals? I think Drew Waters, Hunter Renfroe, and I think that's it. I think that's and Jonathan India. Yeah, Jonathan India is that guy too. And Jonathan India is a guy that we should give that guy so much garbage, but we can't because he walks. He walks. The Royals don't walk. They don't do that. If you guys don't know, the Royals pitching staff is really good at pitching. They do a lot of good stuff well. And that takes you a long way. The Royals' offense is still kind of below average, which isn't good. But for a team who has 24 wins, that does a lot of good stuff. We definitely know that this Royals offense goes whatever direction Bobby Witt Jr. goes, which makes sense for a good baseball team. Man, they need a bat, though. They need a bat so bad. They need a outfit. Hunter Renfroe cannot continue to play for this baseball team. Mark Canha cannot be a 2 games out of 3 game guy. He has to be a bench guy. The Royals need a outfielder so bad it's not even funny. I don't know how that happens. I don't know who we're gonna get. We're not gonna get Luis Robert. We're not going to get that kid, Jorge Soler. So I forgot his name. He has
Kyle Tucker.
Didn't he already?
What's that? PC? Huh? He did play for the Royals. He actually has the home run record for the Royals, tied with Salvador Perez.
Really love him as an outfielder right now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we would, but he's also not good in the outfield. And I think the plan is to.
The point is the bat.
The point is that the Royals want to get another bat. I don't know who that's with, and I think JJ's going to try. Listen.
Yasiel Puig.
No, the Royals are going to find some some
mid-season
under the radar
He's
guy.
in Korea tearing it
The
up.
Royals are gonna find an under the radar. Listen, I hope so badly. I hope so badly that and it sucks because the Royals offense decided to stop playing baseball right when Boston got to town, and we made Boston's bullpen look good. I don't want that to happen. Boston needs, regardless of what happened this weekend, Boston's bullpen is not good, and the Royals should trade a bullpen piece for Willie Abreu. In my opinion, I want Willie Abreu, but that's gonna be it's gonna be a very, very big return, and it's just not gonna work. But maybe JJ can find a guy that's under the radar, like he's done the past two.
Well, yeah, because you guys don't have the
No, we
pieces
don't.
to get someone above
No,
the radar.
we can't, bro.
You have to. That's the
Literally
rule
our
you're dealing with.
only trade. We have 3 trade pieces, and that's our top 3 guys in our.
But that's
in
how
our
the Royals built their team last time.
I know, but we have Jack Caglianone. If we go out and say, "Hey, listen, we want Luis Robert," you know what the White Sox are going to do? They're going to go, "Yeah, we want Blake Mitchell and Jack Caglianone," and that makes no sense. But we sit here and go, that sounds like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. But at the end of the day, that's literally the only 2 guys that make sense. Now, Jack Caglianone, if you guys don't know who that guy is, he's playing pretty good baseball.
Watch Dude Sports Podcast.
Yeah,
you know
if you've
Jack
never seen
Caglianone.
the.
Yeah, if you guys,
Living under a rock.
yeah. If
Yes,
you've
I
been
mention
living-
him every week.
I do. I have to mention this guy every week. He's hitting pretty well, in my opinion. He's hitting a lot of home runs. I think I saw a post that said that if he was in the majors right now, which the stats don't really correlate that well, but if he was in the majors right now, he would lead the average EV in the MLB. Shohei Ohtani would be behind him by
It'd
3
be
miles per
bat
hour.
speed.
No, that'd
What
be
is-
that's
what is
exit
EV?
velocity.
Strikeout percentage.
Exit velocity.
EV, what is EV?
Exit velocity.
It sounds like exit velocity, Kyle. We're talking about exit velocity.
It's a pretty big stat. If you hit the ball 105.
We are talking about exit velocity of a double A hitter right now on the Dudes in Sports podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Exit velocity.
Okay, so PC is a hater, is what I'm trying
No,
to
it's
figure out.
just
No,
why are
you're
we
a
talking
hater.
about exit velocity? What
Because
is
it's
that?
important.
You may hit a foul
Why
ball,
does that
but it's gonna hit a
matter?
foul
Okay,
Why does that
ball.
matter?
Okay, does
8 miles an hour.
miles per hour matter in the MLB as a pitcher?
Does it go out or not?
It does go out. Yes, it
Why
does.
does it matter how fast it goes then?
No,
It does.
that's false.
Okay, that's
You're
the
not
most
gonna
ridiculous
average
thing I've
a
ever
1
heard in
mile
my
an
life.
hour home run.
Anyways, Jack
Yeah, you also
Caglianone,
won't
Jack,
see, like,
Jack
120
Caglianone will
miles
be
an
up in
hour.
July.
Baseball has to have the most
We
made up
we
statistics.
made up statistics. It's not made up. It's literally science. It's capitalism. We've used this science. And
Kyle watched Moneyball once and now.
no,
thinks
I
he
didn't.
knows.
No, that was on base percentage. We are
You've
using
seen it
radar.
at least a dozen times.
We've used this in radar technology. This is important. Shohei, okay, so the best player in baseball right now just so happens to have the highest exit velocity off of his bat. I think that's important. I think that correlates. You know, one of the best hitters in the sport just so happens to have the highest exit velocity in the game. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say if Jack Caglianone came up to the MLB today and did the same thing he's doing, that he's going to be Shohei Ohtani. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that the Royals have nobody who hits home runs for power other than Pasquatch. I'm not saying that Jack Caglianone shows up in July and hits 50 million home runs. That's not what I want. I just want the dude to come up here and strike out 35% of the time, but the 20 other percent of the time he's hitting the ball 150 million miles per hour. That goes all the way
Who
up.
else is doing that, Kyle?
Who
Jordan
else?
Walker.
Yeah, but Jordan
Do you
Walker.
want to know where? Yeah, but
But
we're in
what?
the present, Kyle.
But what?
You are talking about hypotheticals. I'm giving
I'll
you
look up
a
Jordan Walker's
present-day
stats
example.
compared to Jack Caglianone's stats right now in Double-A.
No, I'm looking at the top 10 of average exit velo. Mixed results, but I will say the top 6 are probably 6 pretty good hitters. So let's start at number 10, Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. I think he's one of the only few bright spots, but
Feature
also
Royal.
someone has to hit the ball at some, like, they just can't go 0 for every game. Number 9, Juan Soto, who's been not quite himself. How do you describe? Because it's not like Juan's fucking garbage, but he's not.
Yeah, he's not playing up to his Hall of Fame potential. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Nolan Jones of the Guardians at number 8. Zach Neto, I actually like this guy a lot. Zach Neto on the Angels. Neto. Number 6, Gunnar Henderson. Number 5, Pete Alonso. Pete, this is when we get to the 95 mile an hour threshold. Pete, 95 average exit velocity. Devers, 95.6. Judge, 95.7. O'Neal Cruz at number 2, 96.5. So that's kind of an interesting one to have in there. And Shohei Ohtani at 97.2.
The Pirates also rushed through the minor league system.
I'm not trying to say we should bring Jack up and Jack needs to be our Lord and Savior to help us save this bull. I want Jack to.
But
I
just
want
put him up for the hell of it. Is
stop.
the
No.
dumbest thing. You still have a
No.
decent roster.
You only bring.
You don't
You
understand.
only bring the kid up. You only bring the kid up if the offense is doing well. That's the only time you bring him up. You bring him.
You don't.
What if I?
No, you
What if I do?
fucking
What if
don't.
I?
There's
What if
no
I want
reason.
to? What if I want to? What if I want to? What if he?
Then that's
what
what
if
you
he?
get to have
What if he
the Royals
forces?
being
What if
good
he
for 2
forces? What if he
years and then
forces?
bums
What if he
for
for?
10?
What if he? What do you mean bums for what? For what? Bums
8
for
years.
8 years because we put Jack Caglione up on the in the majors because he decided to hit
That's the thought
400.
process.
Okay, so if he hits 400 the whole
Chris
season,
Bryant didn't even go up this fast, man.
And who
Like, What are we
cares?
talking about?
who cares? We're not going to give him every day at bats.
Okay, does
Then
he
why bring him
play
up?
at
Why
all
using?
of-
You're going to use
Well,
a major.
maybe not.
You're
Maybe
gonna use
not.
a minor
but
league
li-
option.
But listen,
You're
if
gonna
he
use a minor
for,
league
but
option.
if
He's a
he
little bit older.
if he
He went to
force if
college.
he forces
He's
the
not
if
playing
he
all-
if he
he's not a
forces
high school draft
but if he
pick.
forces the hand, why
Dylan
keep him
Cruz,
down?
same thing,
If he
and
forces
he
the
started off
hand, why
terrible.
keep him down? If he forces the hand, why keep him down? If he forces, if he goes out and does this,
Okay,
if
but
he-
you want to do the Brett Beatty where he then struggles and then you have to set him
But
down.
listen, I've been saying this. Don't bring up the
just
kid.
made him mad matching up
Don't
Brett Beatty.
bring him up. Listen, I'm only saying this because we're gonna try to get this kid on the podcast soon. It's gonna be type it. Listen, I've been talking about you the whole podcast. We need to bring you up on the podcast. I'm sure he'll do it.
Look through like 5 other ones.
No.
least.
You know what?
Horrible
Yeah,
fanatics.
you keep trash talking our own podcast, and that's what it's gonna
He's
take
the
us.
only guy in the Midwest worth having on a podcast.
Mason Wynn
If the
is-
kid forces the hand, if he forces the
and
hand,
Victor Scott.
Bring
Victor
him up.
Scott is-
are you trying to tell me right now that if Hunter Renfroe, if you let's sit here and think, would you rather have
You
Hunter
got
Renfroe?
a bridge year and you still have a playoff roster, Kyle.
I don't
There's
care.
no
I don't
reason.
care. I'm a Chiefs fan. I want everything right now. I want it right now. I want Jack up right now playing with Bobby. I want him playing with Bobby. His hit tool and his contact rate is way too good. It's way too
Jack
good.
Caglione just beat up his girlfriend and did a high-speed chase down the highway.
I want him up. He's way too good. He's going to get ticket sales. And if he somehow isn't, Shohei Ohtani in the first 2
Jerry
years,
Jones has said this before.
and here's the thing: if Salvi's a good leader, he's going to make sure that kid doesn't get too bad up in the majors. You platoon him, throw him against righties. He's hitting way too well right now. I don't care, and I'm going to be so delusional on this that it has to be a marquee factor for me. No offense to the Cubs, but speaking about the Cubs. PCA apparently is breaking records for almost catches. Congratulations, PCA. You're making 0% catch probabilities look
Dude,
very
he's
close.
going crazy right now, though. His WAR, dude, like, what the fuck
Oh
is
my
that? It's
God.
Like,
His WAR.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently, so
and he hit, like, 3 homers on the Mets this year. Like, imagine, dude, if we had.
Wait, what?
You know what?
No, he did not.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, he did.
Okay,
He hit a
I'm
bomb
done.
today.
I'm done. Let's go to the UFC. Let's go to UFC
no.
30.
Holy crap! He stopped talking.
When
Okay,
we
let's go to
kiss- When we
UFC.
kiss P4 booty, I see the gist. I see the
I was making fun of a Cubs player for you. You are a Cardinals fan. I'm making fun of a Cubs player, and you're sucking the cock of the Mets.
Pete Crow had 1 home run against the Mets.
It's ridiculous.
And the Mets won 2.
It's ridiculous. I'm making fun of a Cubs
The
player.
Mets did beat the Cubs 2 of 3, and I thank the Mets for that.
Guys,
Thank you.
I have to have a character on here, and if that character doesn't involve delusional mindsets of Jack
You've got
Caglione,
that pretty covered.
and you
Yeah,
know what?
and-
You shave your head, so who cares? Let's
Yeah.
talk about UFC.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, what else?
We have to have pride in this league, all right?
Pete Crow's home run
Pride doesn't exist
today
anymore, actually.
was the
MMA.
4th.
You're just
for
mad
this
that Jordan
kickball.
Walker's not playing well, and so am I,
Francisco Lindor's
and
pretty
so
good
am
at this
I.
whole baseball.
You're not the only one that's mad.
I'm glad. I'm glad, Kyle.
We're trading for him. That's what we're doing. We're gonna trade. JG's gonna trade. We're gonna trade.
If you can fix him, if you can make him hit a
Oh,
breaking
dude,
ball.
you know how poor. You know how
Knock your
upset
socks
you
off.
would be. Okay, we're done. We're done. Let's see what happened. In the
UFC
octagon.
315. It was Montreal, Canada. GSP was there. Who got inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Vitor Belfort.
Vitor Belfort got inducted into the Modern Wing. Are they not even gonna put it on this thing? I doubt it.
No,
Yep, that
Dana
sucks.
just puts.
But a couple Canadians on this
anything.
card. Good stuff to get to, but let's start with the prelims, early prelims. Brad Katona got knocked out by Bezkat
First minute.
Alamakan. First 2 minutes. First minute and 56 seconds.
First 64 seconds.
Yeah. So, this is the first bet I made on win by decision, and he knocked him out in the first round. So that was a great start to the card. But Brad Katona, he's interesting in this bantamweight division. I think they kept him on here because he's Canadian. I don't know how much longer he's going to be in the UFC. Another Kazakhstani UFC fighter. I think he's going to be pretty good. Watch Bekzat Alamakan coming up. Then we have Daniel Santos. He won a unanimous decision over Jung Ho Lee. Good wrestling here by Santos. GSP was in Daniel Santos' corner. Not GSP, Ian Gary. Shoot to box, Daniel Santos. Jung Ho Lee, Jang Young Lee. He looks pretty good. I did have some money riding on him. Unanimous decision. Betting favorite was Jong Yong. So, interesting fight. Could have been fight of the night. Performance of the night. What ended up going to Marc-Andre Barriot. That's probably because he's Canadian and he got a first round knockout over Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva, I think, was this one. Was GSP just in this guy's corner? Ariel?
I don't know, but Bruno Silva was the one that went out on the stretcher to the hospital because of that elbow. But he is doing all right from reports. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, gained
He
all
got-
feeling his extremities.
yeah.
Elbow dented the
Elbows,
skull.
man. Elbows are cheat codes in mixed martial arts. They're crazy when you get hit by one of those.
Yeah, so Marc-Andre, this is a middleweight bout. The middleweight division's pretty wide open towards the bottom, so both these guys should be able to stick around for a little bit. Bruno Silva's probably going to take some time off. Light heavyweight, we got Navajo Sterling, Yvonne Irslan, unanimous decision here. New Zealand guy, Croatian guy. I kind of liked Irslan, the Croatian, one of the few Croatian fighters. Two heavyweights kind of going at it. Good prelim fight.
Sterling pretty good. I do like Sterling. I think his stamina's got to get up for sure, and he's got to do a little more on defense. But overall, Sterling on offense is pretty fun to watch. His swing and hooks were really good in the fight. if he didn't get gassed, I think he had a good chance putting it away. But he's young, and I don't know, if he continues to grow, I kind of like his, I guess, style.
Yep, heavy betting favorite coming into this match, so we'll watch for that. In the future, light heavyweight, we can see him maybe fighting a ranked contender pretty soon.
Weird one from what I saw, at least the highlights.
Yeah, I don't know if they have the judges'
30-27?
scorecard on this. For
There was
both
a
guys.
30-27.
For both
yeah.
guys. 30-27 for Kutelaba, 30-27 for Bukowskis. I don't know how that happens. It doesn't make any sense.
You've seen that constantly now, where you watch the fight and then you're like, "Are you watching the same fight I am?" Like, what?
To be fair,
It's
it doesn't
like,
look like there was much of a fight here. 0
Yeah.
for 4 on takedowns, not even a takedown attempt.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but like, I don't know. The fact they were just like, "Oh yeah, ass whooping." I was like, for who?
Yeah, I mean, Kutelaba landed
either
more strikes,
side.
50.
And more
don't see
significant
it.
strikes too.
Yeah, Kutelaba didn't do bad. Like, I don't know. 30-27.
Out of the whole
was
fight, he landed
ridiculous.
more significant strikes.
Yeah, I mean, he landed
0
more
for 4 on the
strikes in
takedowns.
every round. Yeah,
Kauskis.
I mean, what,
who
Yeah,
knows?
what did he
It's-
do to win the fight? I mean,
Weird one.
That's the
slumped,
other side of combat
unfortunately.
sports for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Jessica Andrade, performance of the night, Jasmine Judasavickas, submission. We had KO on the Dudes in Sports parlay, but submission works. Jasmine Judasavickas, who's trying to work her way up in the women's flyweight division, the Canadian, got Jessica Andrade, former...
She whooped her ass.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
tough.
Andrade is older. Former contender for that belt. She incredible fighter, incredible career. Maybe not Hall of Fame worthy
Andrade's
quite yet,
33.
but
She's
yeah,
been around
Andrade
for
maybe
a while.
yeah, look for the GFL probably. But Jasmine looked really good. I'd like to see Canadians in there. Flyweight division, obviously those women's divisions, anyone can beat anyone. So keep doing what you're doing, Jasmine. Charles Radke got smoked.
yeah.
Mike Malott. Yeah, I had money on Radke. Didn't do too
Tough
good this
night.
week either. Yeah. Benoit Saint Denis beat.
Congratulations, you beat.
These highlights were so funny, dude. I was like, oh man, he got whooped. No, he didn't fight. Like,
Chris Moutinho. That's who it was. This is basically just Chris Moutinho. This guy,
he didn't
had
throw a strike.
no. I mean,
He's 0-1 in the UFC.
0-2.
Yeah,
And it was like 2019, I think, was his last UFC fight.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Benoit was like denying like anybody that was any
he
good.
didn't
was,
land a single strike in the first round.
He was
I mean,
like, I don't want to fight this guy. I don't want to fight this guy. I want to fight this bum.
Yeah,
it just
it was
absolutely
pretty
ridiculous.
rough.
Alexa Grasso, Natalia Silva. Alexa Grasso, if this was a 5-round fight, probably would have came out with the win. Natalia Silva kind of got gassed out towards the end. But Alexa Grasso, still up there, incredible. She got beat up pretty bad. Natalia Silva, I don't want to take anything away from her. I just want to give both fighters their props here. But Natalia Silva looked incredible. A lot of punch, get back. And I know to each their own, maybe not the favorite fighting style to all.
If you're accurate, that's all that counts.
Yes, and she was throwing. She tried to do a little rope-a-dope thing. Grasso was able to land. Grasso was ready to just walk him down. Grasso. It was kind of almost a little foreshadowing for the fight next, maybe a little bit. But Alexa Grasso, unanimous decision. Natalia Silva with the win. Another women's flyweight bout. Natalia Silva versus Valentina maybe happening.
Shevchenko.
That's
Yes,
kind of what I was going to
I
ask you as
her.
a wait for you. Do you think that's probably where you're looking? I mean,
Yeah, I mean maybe
Silva
she's
looks
just-
really good enough to maybe give Valentina some type of competition. Is it
Well, Valentina is not the same fighter she once was.
right?
and that
No,
was
that's
proven
100%
this
agree.
last-
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
But before we must talk about one of the greatest UFC fighters, one of the most accomplished UFC champions. I mean, and I get that like it wasn't like really known. I'm sure that he mentioned something to the higher ups. It just wasn't announced until after the fight. I mean, Anthony Smith got like a fucking 5-minute.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. He got a 5-minute for whole video of him. His
I mean,
best part of his highlight
this-
reel was fighting John Jones for the belt and getting his ass kicked. That was his highlight, and you don't even give a highlight film to one of the most prolific featherweights of all
They
time.
probably weren't talking like Aldo retiring though. Like
Well,
they know
okay,
it was a possibility, but
counterpoint.
I will say this is probably the one thing where they were like, oh, he's going to just not fight again. And I thought he would have one more low key.
In the third, you could
I
tell
do
he's done
understand.
fighting.
100%. Lost the
Yeah,
gas
yeah.
tank. But before
So
we get
does
into
mine.
the fight, during the weigh-ins, pre-fight here, this was signed as a bantamweight bout. Jose Aldo and Ayamin Sabib are both bantamweight fighters. Jose Aldo missed weight. They didn't take away from his purse or anything. This is why I
Gotta move
think,
up.
right? Because if
Canada,
this isn't his,
yeah.
if this isn't his retire, or if this is his not his retirement fight, he's still trying to go up the ranks. If at the last second he goes, dude, this is gonna be my last time. I don't want to make this final cut. Make a deal with Amin Sabib. Okay, cool. This is gonna be his last. If this wasn't gonna be his last, then they would have taken from his purse and done it like the other way. But this was then switched to a featherweight bout in the last second. So I think that little kind of behind the scenes thing kind of shows almost like I'm not saying that he told Dana or Hunter, and maybe they didn't have enough time. This probably wasn't talked about weeks ago, but it was talked about days before, I would imagine. That weight cut, it's something that Uncle Trail says. The reason why guys retire isn't the competition, isn't the camaraderie, isn't beating the scale is the hardest part of combat sports for sure. So. Yeah, congratulations, Jose Aldo. Great career. Let's talk about this fight because Jose was in control for two rounds and a half. I mean, Zahib did have his moments throughout the first couple rounds, but I think it was probably 2-0 Aldo, maybe even 3-0 Aldo. And then the chance for a finish at the middle of the third before Aldo kind of, I think, ran out his gas tank and then started looking at the clock, kind of ran out of steam. Zahid took advantage and then ended up winning on the cards. But interesting fight here. What do you guys think?
I didn't think it was. I saw a couple of things that were saying it was a robbery, and I thought that Zahabi did pretty good in the first round. But I believe that's not the second round when Aldo had that crazy knockout and stuff, right?
No, in the
When he
third
kicked
round.
him.
That was in the third round.
Oh, okay, that was the third, and he
that
couldn't
was
finish
about
it off.
fourth
That's right.
minute. Four
That's
minutes
right.
left. Yeah.
I did think Zahabi definitely won the first round for sure, though. I thought he kind of held his own, but I think overall this, I kind of told P4 before, if Aldo was going to go out, this was the way to do it. And he kind of just, his whole glimpse of himself, such a decorated Muay Thai fighter, kickboxer, all that stuff, and just
incredible, looked
completely
comfortable.
before UFC, killing it in WEC, where you had like Uriah Faber, all those guys fighting each other down there. He was so good in that. And like, I know, like, it was kind of funny because everyone's like, there's so many people that like legit know him for getting slumped by Conor, when like his legacy is much more crazier than that. And yeah, if this is Aldo's last time, at least in the UFC, it was a good showing he gave us over the years for what he could do. But I don't blame him definitely for just being done with it at this point.
Yeah, he
When's
lost
the
the
Jake
fight in
Paul
the
fight?
last 2.5 minutes.
When's the Jose
Yeah.
Aldo Jake Paul getting signed?
Whenever he could pay him as much money.
He's too small. Too small.
No. This is, you know how like Zach Wilson had the anytime, any place, any team, any place headband? Jake Paul says, yeah, shout out Mother's Day. Zach Wilson, I should have worn my Man I Love Football shirt. But no, Jake Paul, never too small, never too old.
sure.
There you go. Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah,
who knows?
Zahidi looks really good though. I mean, he was able to stand with I mean, and like you said, Jose Aldo looked incredible this fight, and Zahibi
He was able to take
hold
it.
his
Yeah,
own
the
as
fact that
well.
he survived that kick to the face was
Oh
pretty
my
crazy.
gosh,
Or at
flying
least the
knee,
neck. Yeah,
a bunch
yeah.
of weird shit going on. Was able to kind of stay composed. He trains with GSP's camp, so that good coach, I forget his
Gotcha,
name
yeah.
now, but that coach is just incredible. He has a couple Joe Rogan podcasts that is just not even for the Joe Rogan part. Like, just listen to this guy fucking talk. You're like, holy shit. He was like almost fighting nerd before fighting nerd. Like, that's how good GSP was and all that. Now we get into the title fights. Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. Valentina keeps her belt. Manon looked like she could hang, but Valentina did just enough.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. There was a lot of holes in Shevchenko in this one, but I thought that she just kind of overall did enough to keep her on the ground, nailing her on the ground, and taking her down. Those early rounds were definitely Shevchenko. I think Fior kind of made a name for herself in the later ones, but I think towards the end it kind of seemed like Shevchenko had the more higher ground, I'd say, in this fight than the opposing party, but it was pretty close. I'd say it was.
Yeah, it was a close fight. At the
Yeah.
end, I think, and I mean, it also has to do like the vibe of the crowd, right? When you're watching the fight, you can almost tell who's winning and all that kind of stuff. This one, it's tough to say because it was technically like French home ground for Manon Fiorot in Canada, in Montreal. But Valentina's just a fan favorite everywhere she goes, and it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot more than that for the UFC to take that belt off of her, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if that is like a biased thing. I mean, we'll talk about the next fight coming up. PC, you have anything on this fight before we get into?
No, not really. Yeah, it's kind of the basic things you've been saying. It's just it's gonna be Valentina's gonna have to really get beat and beat well for them to take the title away from her.
Silva's interesting.
Silva's an
Silva is
interesting fight. I think
Silva's
that'll be the
interesting.
next
You know
one.
what? Even Jasmine, she looked really good.
Yeah, Jasmine may
Now,
need to
just
fight
Paul
somebody
George
else.
She
like that?
smoked. I'd like Jasmine.
I think she needs to
like
fight one more
another
before she gets
contender.
that real look. Maybe she
I
Maybe
agree.
that's it. Silva
maybe she
versus
fights
Jasmine.
Grasso or somebody
Could
in
be.
that nature.
If you want to give
get
Shevchenko a little
those-
time off.
Keep going.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's not going to come back. Maybe we talk about what 317 is going to hold. But right here we have the main event. Bilal Muhammad. Wait, who? Wait, sorry, I forgot. Jack
Hey.
Della Maddalena.
After this one, we remember the name. This fight was fucking sick. This was arguably my favorite fight of the year, dude. They were
Wow.
slugging at the end, 100%. Dude, that fifth
I mean,
round
they
was
did stand
awesome.
in the pocket.
Both their faces were busted up at the end, and that's what Bilal
Yes.
had to do. Bilal was like, I thought at least 3 times, I was like, all right, Bilal is getting fucking clocked. Like,
He has a chin.
Little Medalana. He just kept coming up and going
He
like a
uses
zombie.
pressure amazingly. Like he does have a gas.
He
tank.
closes the distance. Yeah, closed the gap. I thought that was really
25
good.
minutes is such a fucking long time.
Yeah,
Five
yeah.
minute rounds is insane that they
I-
fucking sanction that.
Yeah, honestly, but I do think that obviously JDM, like overall in this fight, was just absurd with the amount of hands he threw. And like I mentioned it before, you got to fight fire with fire to beat a guy like this. Like the fact that, I mean, at this point, hopefully he is going to be marketed huge as a champion because his fighting style is so sick. Like he can go and just throw hands and stuff, get you on the ground, just corral you, get control, just throw hands on top of you when he's on the ground. Like he is just pure pressure, just like Bilal was in this, but obviously JDM's way more aggressive. And yeah, this, in my opinion, was a really fun fight, even to go back and watch for me. So I enjoyed this quite a bit.
Yeah, JDM looked really good. He's the rightful welterweight champion. We'll talk more about what's coming up for both of these guys, but Bilal said that he wasn't going to throw a single takedown in there. He did try one in the first period. He tried a couple, 3 in the second, none in the third. He was 1 of 3, got his first takedown in the fourth, and then he was 2 of 2 in the fifth. JDM, Nick Howard kind of hit it right on the head right there because he's a good puncher, good boxer. He's a fighter. He goes out there. He kind of fits that DDP mold.
He's a
that Strickland
true
mold.
mixed martial artist.
Yeah,
he can
he goes
punch
out
the
there.
shit out of you, man. He can also get you on the ground very easily.
And he's also not one of these guys that's really into the media. Like, you can tell Bilal, I think it would be disrespectful to call Bilal Colby Covington, but Bilal, like, Colby, they do, like, this media training thing that, like, Cejudo does. Like, Jack is kind of that, like, Nate Diaz, and Nate's the best at it. That's, like, the Michael Jordan of it all. But, Jack, he's like, whatever, man. I said what I said in the post-fight after he was talking about what he said about Ian Gary's son. He goes, I said what I said. I stand by it. So, JDM. So, let's talk about... Now, we got something coming up next week. But in a few weeks, we got UFC 317, which is going to be International Fight Week. TBD versus TBD.
TBD.
We don't even got any info about it, bro. Nothing.
He's so focused with this Canelo Crawford that he is like speed running this promotion right now.
That
316
is
is
in New
up.
Jersey.
That's Sugar. Yeah.
Sugar Sean versus
Yep.
Marab Show. Yeah.
Yeah. And 318 is confirmed.
Yes.
And the event after that is confirmed. And we don't have an international fight week of any sort official.
It is. Yeah. I don't know, man. But 317, I think what we put, and you know what? I'm going to say this, and either what they do matchmaking on Mondays, they say. Matchmaking on Monday. So Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday, 9 a.m. probably Pacific time. I'm guessing we're going to get a selfie video from Dana White with the mat behind him.
Promotion. It's a map.
Big fight news. Ilia Topuria is fighting Charles Oliveira in the co-main event, or maybe even in just a 5-round
Main
event.
event. Well, interim.
Or not
For
main,
the
not,
interim.
not main
No,
event.
it's not
main
going to be.
It's gonna be for the
Islam
interim.
going to have to.
Yes,
take
for
his
the
belt
interim.
off.
It's going to be for the
So interim belt.
Yeah.
Then
Thank
you
God.
have 170 will be Islam versus JDM, and I heard a rumor that our main man Alex Poton Pieta will accept the fight at 205 against Magomed Ankalaev.
Cool.
So
That's some
we
good.
could
That's
see
some good title fights.
that would be a good start to the
Ritter.
card that we're all talking about for International Fight Week. That's a good right? I mean, you get 3
Yeah.
fucking title fights.
Yeah,
you
that's
get Ilya on there,
It's
you
if
get
they're
Charles
good
on there.
fights. They're not
say-
like it's like okay, these are really interesting.
I really hope they do kind of stack up for sure on that show with how much is like in the dark and not it because right now it just looks like they're so unprepared. But like if they come out like really getting these things together and make
There's
a
an
super card.
opportunity. There's an
Yeah.
opportunity for the UFC to grab a hold of. I
100%.
do like your very cautious mindset here, and I'm afraid to share it with you, because right, obviously the reason why it's taking so long is they have no fucking idea what they're doing. But in my fucking belief brain, I'm going, hopefully they're taking this long
Yes,
because it's going to be so
exactly.
cool.
That's the hope for sure.
We can go over next week really quick. It's an Apex card. We got Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. He's going to be a banger card.
In the Apex, it's gonna be so good though.
We got Nick Howard's favorite, Paul Craig, versus Rodolfo Bellato.
Sadiq Yusuf,
Yusuf
really good.
makes his way back to the Apex.
Interesting.
Mizquael Costa, he was at UFC Seattle. This will be his 3rd fight. Or, I guess.
He also has that
3rd fight since
Uzbekistan
UFC.
dude you talk about every once in a while. I think.
Is he on there? No, this is not. This is not.
Oh.
But he,
Never mind.
His
yes,
nickname is
he is
Black.
also. He's also pretty crazy.
Interesting.
We got a guy
That guy
without
doesn't
a
have a
name or
face.
without a face or a country. Jared Gordon, a couple ladies, Carlos Hernandez, and then Pennington. This isn't even a real Pennington. Wow. All right.
It's the Apex for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll
it's an
be-
Apex card. Bet the house on Gilbert Burns. That's what I'm saying.
Whoa.
Michael Morales.
Relax, my Colombian Spider-Man. Relax.
All right, should we get to Smart or Dumb? We're running long today. We way in it today. Kyle had to talk about the exit velocity and on base percentage based on third strike pitches on 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth in January on a cloudy day because everything's so important. Leaderboard, if you don't know what's currently going on, currently Howard missed last week, so he is down 3 points here, 5, 5, and 2. We also have a brand new leaderboard. I'll make this a little bit better. 0-1, P4 tied, didn't move anywhere. I didn't get to play at all last week because I was a host. Howard lost and Kyle won. So currently these are our updated overall season grades. We will be doing that throughout the season when we move all the way through this. But K-Stel, let's run through this. Some of us got to work tomorrow. Well, it really sucks.
If I put down more than 5, how does that work?
Oh,
Yeah, can I?
I'm going to write down
That's
all 30
crazy.
NBA teams.
Yeah.
yeah, I might as well.
Just 5 names. Okay.
Closest list.
Yeah.
Wizards, Hornets.
No, I'm.
Ah. No, no. Damn it.
Oh fuck.
Hornets. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
I'm the NBA guy, bro. I'm the NBA guy.
Blazers instead of Clippers.
I knew the Clippers. I was the one I was really trying to think of was the Pels, but then the Pelicans was the one I was really sure.
Well, I was afraid to put down Pelicans or Hornets because they like fucking flip flop 3 different. But then I thought,
Yeah.
oh well, both those teams were so bad they would have did.
Yeah, they had to be.
There,
Yeah,
yeah,
you just gotta find the bad. The Wizards was a good guess, but they had back in the day they made the
I keep forgetting about that Bullets.
Can we
guy.
not get points based on how we did out of 5? All right. Wow. 3, 4, 5. That's pretty well contested.
pretty good.
Wait, current pitching staffs. Oh, okay.
No. God damn it. This sucked. Hold up. I don't think I'm gonna get it, so I'm gonna put it in these on.
Dude, Kershaw won like 8 in a row or some shit. He like went fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is a
That's
lot
what I
of
was thinking because I was like,
Koufax,
oh,
too.
Randy Johnson had a bunch, but he like kept on swapping teams. I tried to pick a guy who won a bunch from one
Damn.
team.
In the lightweight. I was just looking at welterweight, see if it's lightweight or welterweight.
Like, I don't want to give you the number because I feel like that'll help.
I think I got this wrong. Fuck. Not too sure.
I'm ready. Time cannot
Is
run out.
Leon
soon enough.
Edwards in the lightweight?
Oh, no fucking way.
I want
Now you're
extra
gonna-
points for spelling it right.
Wait. Oh.
Oh, it's
never mind.
Khabib,
Maybe.
bro. God damn it.
That's a good guess.
God.
No, I couldn't say 55. If I said 55, it would have blown my whole cup.
Dude, is Usman in the welterweight?
Yes.
God damn it. I knew it, too. I literally knew it.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking it, is I go, okay, Kyle just came up with a Khabib question. Damn, bro. God damn it, he's number 3. I know it. He's number 3. Yep.
There you go.
I knew it.
Somebody that should have.
I think
Of
Terrell
course.
Owens is number 3.
Of course.
Randy Moss is up there. We all did pretty good. I don't think Megatron played long enough. If you
That's
went
what I
by
kind of
average,
thought, too, that he
yeah.
didn't play long enough. Oh, great.
Are we doing 10? We're not doing 10?
No, 10's next week. Finale's next week. This
Gotcha.
victory.
Quarter century. Has not. Can you name out the AL Central teams? Is that the Cardinal or the,
No.
the Royals
No.
one?
No, fuck you, fuck you. What the fuck are you doing? Are you this is handicap. This is handicap bullshit.
I asked him for lightweight, who was in the lightweight, nobody gave me anything, and you're about to just give him a 1 in 5 chance to get
Exactly.
it right.
You were about to baby P4. That's unbelievable. This is ridiculous, Kyle. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, he named the ones that did make it. No, they were in. Remember LeBron and the Cubs, and the Cubs won it.
Cubs won it. Cubs won it. Yes, that was their name at the time.
LeBron was there.
Yeah.
I don't watch baseball.
And the Pope was at the White Sox one.
Yep.
Like, it was like, it's like when people do the, in the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and it was 50-50, and I was just hoping for Kyle to, like, name a couple team names, and I was like, I already know it's
knew
not
it,
the White
dude.
Sox or the Indians, or the Guardians, and those are the two that he named.
No, I don't know
Okay.
the movie.
So there's 7 questions tonight.
Oh no.
No. Nomenclature. Who's the lady who does the Capital One commercials? That's
I
not
think the second part eliminated that.
her. Yeah. I'm literally just guessing an old actress. When did American Pie come out? Oh, fuck.
Coolidge.
Are you shitting me? God, I'm good.
I was thinking about the
I killed
Minecraft
it
movie
this
on the
week.
second part, and I completely forgot about her.
Yep, current scoreboard. P4 is leading at 8. I've got 6. Howard's down at 3. We will have our finale next week. Howard might be doing Wheel of Punishment back to back. You never know. I always like to crumble in the last week. We saw that plenty in season 1. But yeah, we've had the pod run long today. But you know what? We had a short episode last week. So we had a longer one this week. Howard, how about you start us off since you didn't get to do the intro? So what are your final words to the people?
Hell yeah. Happy Mother's Day, all the mothers out there, all the blessed women of the world. It is a not too bad of a weekend, weather-wise, at least over here. Been able to get out, see some stuff. Cardinals winning 8 in a row. Apparently John Gruden is now an everything St. Louis fan and has brought all this attention and people talking in St. Louis about John Gruden and how he's made a hype video about St. Louis City kicking Sporting Kansas City's ass. I don't know. Don't tell me. I'm only the messenger. But anything else from my end? Liverpool drew with Arsenal today. I did watch that. And, yeah, I haven't been watching too many sports lately. But, I guess besides combat sports on the weekends. But, it is a lot that's going on, pretty intense in terms of like getting close to the All-Star weekend, and then we got draft stuff coming up for the NBA, and NHL playoffs. The Champions League was crazy, which we can get more into closer to the finals coming up. But yeah, it's been a lot of just to keep up with. Like, I feel like I have watched a good amount of sports, but at the same time, there's so much going on that, like, it's a lot to keep up with. But, you know, that's the beauty in it, especially for us sport nerds here. We know just as much as the guy next door that tries to say that his fantasy football team is the greatest in the world, even though everybody knows he's losing his league. That's pretty much our intelligence level here at Dudes in Sports. But we give you entertainment, and we tell you something that you can think about. So, hats off from Howard.
K-Still.
I think they've made the conference finals before, but I think they did. I think like the year you liked them, but yes. I believe you are correct. Continue. I will look this up. They choke. The 2023 conference finals was Carolina and Florida. Yes. And they got swept. Sorry, Kyle.
Main man from way out west.
Yeah, another great episode. Like, donate, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, gather around the TV every Sunday evening and watch the Dudes of Sports podcast, learn something. Or, you know, just join for a good time or whatever. Right now I'm looking at Aaron Pico's Tapology page. He was supposed to fight next weekend, but that fight fizzled out, so I'm trying to figure out what he's going to do next. But, yeah, just go Mets. We got some good stuff coming up. The dudes kind of covered it. I mean, I guess soccer is, like, kind of in the full swing of things right now, too. I'm watching the combat sports, getting ready for baseball to kind of get in the dog days, have the Mets win some games. I know our schedule coming up is pretty tough. So, yeah, and then myself, my own personal athletic prowess. So, yeah, goodbye, folks.
Yep, like, subscribe, just like everybody said, and we will see you guys